Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Jeff Buckley, which as a kid was one of my inspirations, musical influences, I'd say, because I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, and it was around this time that Jeff Buckley's following was growing, and he definitely had a cult following before that, but he was extremely popular during that time. I can very, very, very vividly recall listening to his version of Hallelujah and just really feeling the intensity and the beauty of the emotion that he put into his music. And today we're remembering his memory because he unfortunately passed away on May 29th. And the surroundings of his death were a bit tragic and somewhat mysterious. He drowned in Wolf River, which is a tributary of the Mississippi River. And Jeff Buckley actually started out as a session guitarist in Los Angeles, but he quickly attracted a cult following. Jeff Buckley earned his cult following performing at different venues in East Village of Manhattan. And yeah, I'm going to be doing something just a little bit different. For those of you that are new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Deanna Faye, and I'm a singer-songwriter from Canada. And I like to talk about the magic of art, the creative process behind songwriting, and also give you some tips and tricks for how to improve your songwriting, as well as topics like mental health, psychology, philosophy. And yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. We're going to be listening to a couple of clips from interviews from Jeff Buckley, and I'm going to be reacting to it, giving you a bit of an analysis of what I think. And yeah, let's get right into it.
The J Files. At what point did you know that this was what you wanted to do?
Probably when I was 13, 14. Did my first gig in a club. And that was it, just, yeah, okay, I like this. It smells bad, I can be here. Everybody's crazy. I don't have to go to school. I have to, but I won't. That sort of thing.
You're very much a public person. How does that feel?
Well, I'm public with a camera, but, I'm just in your box at home right now. And I'm not even on TV all that much. I don't like TV. I'm doing this either because I haven't found a better surrogate, or I'm just going with it right now. We're talking on the TV. Why does your TV station want to know about me? Basically, what are you doing? You're shaping sound in order to fit a feeling, and to make sure that that's a good vehicle for that feeling. Words are accurate. Emotionally accurate,
So Jeff Buckley talks about the idea of shaping sounds in order to fit a certain feeling and making sure that that sound is accurate to the feeling. And this is something I've talked about on this channel before. So matching a sound to a certain feeling or feelings is something I've talked about on this channel many times. And it's just this idea that when you want to write a song, one of the ways you can do it, there's many ways you can do it, but one of the ways that you can write a song is to have a certain feeling and a certain feeling or emotion that you want to express. And then you can shape your sounds around that feeling. So this could be anything. It doesn't have to be heartbreak. It doesn't have to be like a traditional or stereotypical feeling that you hear in a lot of pop music. It could be any feeling. But you take that feeling and then you're matching the sounds, the chord structures, even like you can add samples. For example, you could take sounds from the city in which you're writing a story from. So if you're writing a story about someone that lives in a certain city or in a certain neighborhood, or if your song is about, a specific place. You can even include actual real recordings and samples from that place, and that can add to that emotion and add to how you're matching an emotion to your songwriting. But it could be something as simple as like including, it could be something as simple as that, adding samples, but it could be that the actual notes and the melody matches the emotion very well. And it's a very simple idea if you think about it, but a lot of people forget that something so simple can be what makes such a great song and what makes the song engaging and powerful to the listeners. And I think that's part of why Jeff Buckley had such a cult following, because even just his cover of Hallelujah, like, it's incredibly emotional, and it sounds different than the original, but his ability to take that emotion and turn that into sound is spot on. So that's one tip that we can learn from this interview. Now, this next clip is from a different interview, and it is actually from a Much Music interview from 1994, which is the year that Jeff Buckley released his only studio album. So that's pretty cool.
It's just, it's an elegy to no one about, I always describe it as, not fearing anything, anyone, any man, any woman, any war, any gun, any sling or arrow aimed at your heart by other people, because there is somebody finally who loves you for real, and that you can achieve a real state of grace through somebody else's love in you. Everybody knows what it's like to create an artistic moment, so-called artistic moment, because it's really just heightened humanism. It's just a heightened human language. If you've spent a night making love, you know exactly what it means to strip your ego down, where you are there expressing yourself wordlessly, collaborating on a moment that has an energy about it that is replenishing, or even completely inspirational in a way you could never imagine. And that's the way art really is.
So what he's saying there, he expresses something that I try to express many times. I've tried to express many times on this channel, but it's actually difficult to do. But like, he's talking about the harmony, or like when you collaborate. He uses the example of making love all night with someone, like making love, not just, there's this sense of harmony and like collaboration. That, he says, that's what art is. That's what art is. So, I don't know, he expresses it in a way that's very visceral and like tangible, but something that I try to talk about here is how important it is that when you're songwriting, you're not just, forcing an idea and making a song into something perfect because you think it should be perfect that way, but it's like, it's got that melody, it's got that feeling of harmony that is hard to explain, like when I'm not a religious person, but when you like step into a beautiful temple or somewhere that is awe-inspiring, there's this feeling of like, wow, the artists that created this place really created it with harmony in mind, and you get that feeling of like awe, and that's what art is. And that's how you should feel when you're making art, when you're creating something. It should feel that way. If it doesn't, maybe you're missing something, or you're forcing something a little too hard. Okay, so in this next clip, he's like fussing with his hair, doing something really funny with his hair, and like, I don't know, I just relate to it.
I look like crap 24 hours a day. I look like this. Got this mystery hair happening. Got this greasy ass face.
Okay, honestly, as an artist and as a YouTube person, content creator, whatever, That is so real. I would say like 99% of the time I look like crap.
I think people are divine and eternal. I think that people live on many, many different levels. You know, see things, understand things. In a way, yes, we're totally mortal, and I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what that is. This flesh thing. Or this earth thing. I don't know. But I'm finding out all the time.
It's packaging.
I guess so. Sometimes I think it's just a dream that your soul had in order to reach out to people and to kiss or dance or something. I want to. The more you learn about the nature of things, and the more you attune to it, I guess that's better off you'll be. But I believe in people, and I believe in their divinity. I believe in the divinity of nature, totally, and the order of things, and the many, many, many systems that make up chaos and all that stuff. And I love it. And I've been messed up by it. It's just life. But I observe I sort of gather the nectar from all religion, but I really don't wholly trust in man's organization of God.
When you were deciding how you were going to go about it all, what was it about this rock sensibility that you were keeping true to?
It's just what I grew up with, really. It's the thing that excited me most. But
talking about there is she's asking him why do you have a sort of rock and roll sensibility about the music that you're making? And his answer is essentially that, well, he prefers it that way, right? He likes how it's a bit more simple, it's a bit more economical, but also he doesn't want to create this sort of complex prog rock sound, because he's saying that anything more than guitar, bass, drums sort of lineup, it would be too much, like the music sort of dragging on or dragging behind, in his words. And I think that's interesting. It kind of reminds me of how Elliott Smith had a sort of punk sensibility. Jeff Buckley is less so, but I still think there is this sort of punk attitude to his music, but not as much as Elliott Smith. But yeah, he goes on to say something else that I think it's pretty sad when thinking back on his death, but let's listen to it.
It's complex to me. There's something interesting to me about that.
Well, that's because we live in a culture that kills artists. Wants them to die. It kills them.
Wants them to make the sacrifice?
Yeah, it's like people who talk poetically or act and express are totally devalued. Just like women are devalued.
I can't not listen to that and watch that and not get goosebumps, because I kind of feel like his spirit when listening to it, because when I think about that, it actually is heartbreaking that we live in a society that kills artists. Like, it doesn't matter. There's many genres, subgenres where an artist has passed away, has died, often young, often in a tragic way, and that's the thing that brings them fame, or that's the thing that, makes them an icon, and it shouldn't be that way, It shouldn't be that way. And the other thing he's saying is how if you express yourself poetically, if you are an artist, if you are poetic, if you express yourself in a way that an artist does, it's not valued enough, or it's even devalued in some cases. And of course there are people that value it, and there are many people, music fans, artist fans, art lovers, and artists themselves that value it. But as a whole, we don't value artists enough.
People who talk poetically or act and express are totally devalued. Just like women are devalued and their femininity. That everything that brings with the flow, the understanding, the intuition. Not like knowing facts, but just there's understanding things just somehow. That's very, very extremely devalued. It's the seat of all art. It's the seat of all artistic expression. And I say that is the cabin slave of the world.
What he expresses there is very, very important, because he's saying that intuition, it's the seat of all artistic expression. And you might disagree, but I think that and if you watch my channel or listen to my talks, I talk about this in almost every video, just how important your intuition is to songwriting or the creative process. But intuition, and people that are intuitive and like he points out, women, femininity, it's associated with being intuitive, and it is so devalued. And to have intuitive expression, it's integral to the economy. It's actually integral to the world. It's integral to things that are important to humankind. Art is integral to humankind and has purpose and has meaning that is beyond just, beauty's sake. But it's housed as a slave. It's the place where the most integral work and integral meaning is developed.
Love, anger, depression, joy, and dreams. And Zeppelin, totally.
Pretty sure that was the best possible response I've seen to that question by any artist. Usually people give a list of their favorite artists or something like that, but he just lists grief, depression, joy. He lists emotions. And I think what we can take from this and learn from this is just how important emotions and the intuitive process was to Jeff Buckley. It's really those moments where you have an intense feeling that you must express and you must share it. And it's not even about, getting that specific message across. That's sort of misspoke. It's that feeling. It has this importance. It has value alone. It's inherently valuable. And it's a human experience, and it's a very human thing to have emotions and to feel. And it's not even in every piece of art that people make. That's why I think it's really valuable and meaningful that he credits his emotions and dreams and the intuitive process. He's being super honest. He's being really real. And you can tell that the music that he made came from his heart and came from his real emotions. And it wasn't just like doing this for fame, doing this for money, doing this for this or that reason, for validation. It was because it came from real inspiration. But this is a very, 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 very integral part to the creative process, to the songwriting process, is emotions and dreams and your intuition. I think that what we take from it is that Jeff Buckley was super cool. He was clearly very in tune with his emotions and his intuition. He was in tune with his gut, but it breaks my heart that he is no longer with us today, and that he felt that to be an artist is to die and to be, a sacrifice for the art. But it's a feeling that is very common. In an interview, Jeff Buckley said, "My music is like a low-down dreamy bit of the psyche. It's part quagmire and part structure. The quagmire is important for things to grow in. Do you ever have one of those memories where you think you remember a taste or a feel of something, maybe an object, but the feeling is so bizarre and imperceptible that you just can't quite get a hold of it? it drives you crazy. That's my musical aesthetic, just this imperceptible, fleeting memory. The beauty of it now is that I can record it onto a disc or play it live. It's entirely surreal. It's like there's a guard at the gate of your memory and you're not supposed to remember certain things, because you can only obtain the full experience by completely going under its power. You can be the destroyed or scarred. You don't know, it's like dying. Anyway, music is the only thing I've got. It's the only thing that's been really great to me all the time. There was a point where I was extremely depressed and I couldn't go near anything.